Hey everyone, so in today's vlog, we are going to talk about entities and possessions. And I am going to attempt at explaining what a possession is and how demonic entities are formed. Like what actually happens when someone, like, have you watched those movies when people's bodies get possessed and they start like shaking? Crazy things start happening. They're like flying around on the ground like a snake and their eyes go weird and they're saying weird shit. How does that come about? Now, I'm so excited for this vlog that I wrote it all out for everybody, okay? So let's start with thoughts. Everything is created by your thoughts. The way you think is exactly why you're living the way you're living. Okay, look at your external environment. It is all a manifestation of the energy and vibration that the photons, the protons, the neutrons, all the electrons, everything conducting the cells in your body, all the information that's come from your organs, from your subconscious mind, because that is all the water in your cells. It is your cells, your unconscious mind, all of the information gathered, and it comes up into your mind and it tries to hit up consciousness. Okay? So the way you speak, the vibration you speak in, the tone of your voice, the words that you choose, all are manifest outside of you. You just have to look. With that said, let's talk about entities. Let's talk about negative thought forms. Negative thought forms, which come from your mind, created by you, are called egregores. Egregores are a thought form created intentionally or unintentionally and becomes an autonomous entity with the power to influence. So, what an egregore is if you think enough of a negative thought form, so anything from fear, any that creates fear, anxiety, anything that's low vibrational that doesn't serve your highest good easiest path, let's call that a negative thought form. If you think about that negative thought form enough, like for example, if you think that my family is going to be harmed, I can't let my kid play a certain sport, he will be hurt, I can't let so-and-so do this because of this negative consequence, what you're doing when you think enough negative is that negative thought form becomes energetically, it starts to vibrate faster. So once it becomes a vibration, it will manifest itself, maybe not in matter right away, but thought forms, egregores are so smart. What they like to do is they like to linger. So what these thought forms will do, because remember, it's just low vibrational energy, they will start creating, can you imagine, instead of the flower of life, which is a positive thought form, which is a loving thought form, a thought form of lots of understanding and compassion and wisdom, egregores are these assembled weird globs of energy, but they're still energy, and they form and they live in corners of, like, they can live in corners of your home. So that's why it's really important to like clear dust bunnies, because they love dust bunnies. They will cling on to those dust bunnies and they will live there, and they will charge the dust bunny, which is matter, with these negative thoughts and live in your home until they're cleaned up. The thing is, though, they won't only live in the dust bunnies, they will live up in air. So we can't see them. But you know what it feels like when you walk into an egregore? It feels like, you know, when you go to someone's house and you're looking at a picture, or you're standing in this like certain place in their house and you just feel a little eerie, like icky, weird. That may be an egregore, my friends. You may be hitting up an egregore, even when you're looking at a picture, because everything is vibration, everything is energy. And you know, when you're looking at a picture, you can kind of feel what the person in the picture is feeling, just looking at their eyes, their smile, the way their hands are, where they are. There's a vibe that's coming off the photo. It's the same thing for egregores. You just feel this vibe, okay? So an egregore is a thought form created intentionally or unintentionally. Usually it's unintentionally because people are in fear. In this third dimension, our polarity is like fear and ugliness. Love and understanding is over here. Fear and ugliness is over here. So an egregore is a thought form created intentionally or unintentionally and becomes an autonomous entity with the power to influence, can be created by a person or a group. So a group can be your family. If you watch the news and you're so afraid of whatever murder, that there's so many killers on the streets now, our streets are horrible, just people are horrible, the likelihood of that egregore forming in your home first is very high. And then the likelihood of you running into a gangster and having harm done to you would triple, 5 times, 10 times, because that egregore lives not only inside your mind, in your organs, but also in your home, in your external environment. So now that we can say that egregores are entities, let me explain to you what this looks like. So how does this become a vibration? So here I have drawn for everybody how thought waves move, okay? Now, if you look at this from here to here, you're going to see, let's call this peak here, let's call this consciousness, and this is subconscious, unconscious, your egregores, okay? So if you look at this, look how long the frequency is of this egregore, and we come up, consciousness is very quick, but then the person moves back down into this long frequency of fear, low vibration, and let's just call this our egregore, all right? So this is a low vibration. How do we know? Because we can measure the frequency. That's what we're doing here. So when the frequency is long in the low vibration, this is where egregores can be created. But here, if we look here, and you have the high frequency, which is more prominent, right? Look how quick the high frequency comes. The low frequency is shorter than the high frequency. What we have here is we have more bouts of consciousness. So the unconscious still happens because we're in the third density, it's supposed to happen. But what happens is because there's not a lot of energy put into the lower vibration, the lower frequency, it's let go and surrendered quicker. So the people are in this high frequency of consciousness more often. So this is how thought forms can be measured. So if you are in a state of a higher frequency of low vibration, which can create egregores, what happens with this egregore and the way it pops out of you is, what happens is this egregore will, so egregore, whatever you're thinking, your thought form in your mind, right? What happens is when you come out of fear often enough, you can't see it obviously, but a shape is formed. And we can call this shape a hologram, okay? But we can't see it. Can't see it. It's white, let's say. Or it's like dark, but we can't see it. So here, let's say this shape is formed. But if we're not conscious of how negative we think, then we can call this shape unconscious. It's unconscious right now, right? But what we are doing is we are putting will. The longer you keep in this frequency of low vibration, which isn't bad, it's just something we have to go through in this 3D density. So the longer you are in this low frequency egregore, what happens is, this is you, let's say, And this ball, like the magician here, this sphere is will. Let's call this sphere will. So what happens is you begin to unconsciously will, because it's in your mind so much, because you're in the matrix, like this little bird is in this box. You begin to will, so you will, which means you put energy now into your thoughts. So all the particles, all the cells, all the protons and electrons begin to vibrate a little faster. Energy, right? They get energy, so they vibrate faster. So what happens is this unconscious generates energy, which creates a vibration, which brings it to consciousness from your own mind. Do you see this? Do you see how this person here is willing, putting energy into this thought form, which is unconscious, but you put enough energy, it'll start vibrating and it will become conscious. Now, it's a thought form that has power. A state and a feeling can be felt once it is conscious. And this is now, my friends, this egregore is an entity. And this is where it will find places to kind of live around your house. And how that happens is because when you are in a low state of mind, so in the matrix for long enough, and you start willing unconsciously fear, your body's equilibrium, this is the Justice card, these scales become completely unbalanced. They become off balance and away from our natural state, which is to be aware. It is beingness. So once these scales are unbalanced, the body begins to deposit this egregore into the chakras. So what I'm saying here is more and more negative thoughts keep coming up, like more and more negative thoughts. The negative thoughts just don't stop. Sometimes you can't sleep if they'll take over your dreams. What's happening in that state is that this egregore begins to seep into the chakras. Then the chakras, because they become so entangled in the matrix, this becomes unbalanced. The scales become completely unbalanced, and that is when the deposits start happening in your organs, okay? And the deposits from the chakras of the fear begin to happen in your organs when not only is this unbalanced, but this becomes more unbalanced with reaction. Once you start reacting to that fear more and more, like maybe instead of 1 time a day, you're listening to the news 10 times a day, this is you're reacting to the fear. You feel like you need to know, you need information, but you're going back to negative information. Then once this deposits in your organs from your chakras, now the Justice card is completely out of balance. From your chakras here, what happens is your organs start to hold on to that low vibration. So now your kidneys will hold on to fear, your liver will hold on to anger, your spleen will hold on to worry, your kidneys, 2 kidneys, will hold on to grief, and the lungs will hold on, the lungs will hold on to grief, and the kidneys will hold on to sadness and fear. So, see how this vibration is going from this person, the vibe, look at the unconscious. Now our body complex is unconscious, our mind complex is unconscious, the body is unconscious. So look at this, the spirit complex, it becomes more intertwined with the matrix. The spirit loses itself, and the ego, the I, and the shadow, which is the M, the subconscious and the unconscious mind, entangle the spirit. And this is where the possessions happen and the body shakes. We are fully ingrained in this possession. Once we hit up the Devil card. It's the sign of Capricorn, which is a sign of habits, and it's your bones. It gets into your bones, into the density. That's my explanation. Love you guys.